Tales of the Shire is a cozy life sim where you get to live out your Hobbit dreams, gardening, cooking, and hosting meals with your neighbours in the heart of Bywater. But as charming as it is, the game doesn't explain everything, and I find myself wishing I had a few pointers early on. Hello everyone, and welcome back. So I'm a few hours into the game now, and as I was planting my vegetables and decorating my little hobbit hole, it hit me that there is so much I wish I knew when I first started. So today I'm sharing my top 10 tips to help you settle into Bywater and avoid the mistakes I made along the way too. So tip 1 is to constantly save the game. Now, this game doesn't have any autosave function. It doesn't even autosave when you go to sleep at the end of the day, so you need to save the game at any chance you get. You can find this in the game options, and you can save the game and then overwrite the save you currently have. This saves the game that you are currently in, because there is nothing worse than the game crashing or you exit the game and then you've just lost 3 or 4 days worth of gameplay and you have to restart those days again. Tip 2 is foraging. So in the early gameplay, you will be foraging a lot and walking around the village trying to find forageables. Forageables are used as cooking ingredients, so you need to hoard these like your life depends on it. It's one of those games that hoarding is essential, and you can store these in your pantry in your house. Luckily, your storage has quite a few slots. There are 500, but your backpack doesn't, so you will need to keep walking backwards and forwards. Unfortunately, there is a button you can press to get faster walking, but it's more of a frolic than a sprint, so this is more of a relaxed gameplay loop. Once you have found the forageable, the map will then show you where you can find the forageable again, and you can track it, which is so handy if you need that forageable for a specific cooking recipe. And next we'll get into the inventory. So as I said, you only have 10 slots in your bag, but you have 500 in your pantry in your house. So the idea is that you fill up your bag with everything and bring it back to your pantry. Now you can have 10 different items that make up your bag, with each item totaling 9. So you can be resourceful in that sense and get the maximum amount of items in your bag. So you could have 9 chestnuts, 9 hazelnuts, 9 plums, and so on, and stack it to its full potential that way. But when you get further on into the game, you are able to get backpack upgrades, and I will talk about that further on. Next, I want to talk about the map, because it is very useful and you will be using it a lot. Unfortunately, there is no mini map in this game, so you will be using the map a lot to see where things are and to see where villages are, but the map is really useful because it has a lot of tracking features on it. So it tracks where all of the villagers or hobbits are, and so you can click on them to track them. It also tracks where all of the important places are, so like your home, the shopping area. If you are having a shared meal, it will track that. It will also track any fishing spots or any forageables. And as I'm playing on PC, you can also press tab and you can have a look at all of the villagers, where they're located, and get to the relationship tab really easily from here as well. So this is a really handy thing to keep looking at. It will also let you track any quests, and you can track and untrack anything just by clicking it, which is really handy. The tracking system has its good and bad points. So the tracking system is by bird. On the map, you can see it as little silhouettes of orange birds, and when you come out of this, you actually follow birds for the tracking system. So birds will appear on lampposts, on fence posts, on signposts, and they will let you know which way to go so that you are directed in the right way to where you are tracking something. Now, this is really good because it makes you feel immersed in the world and it doesn't give you like a solid line for you to follow. It's more gentle and more persuasive, but sometimes you can get a little bit lost because you've forgotten to look for a bird. So that's where the map comes in handy as well, because it does give you a bird silhouette and a white line for you to follow if you do get lost. Now I want to talk about some of the bigger things that happen in Tales of the Shire. One of them is gardening. So to start off with, you will just be planting vegetables in any order and there won't be any sense to what you're planting until you get a quest that kind of explains more about it. But let me explain it in detail of how to actually plant vegetables and how to get quality vegetables. So the gardening in Tales of the Shire is for ingredients to cook for the villagers so you can gain relationships with them. So gardening is quite a big part in this game, and you can up the quality of the vegetables by placing them in specific spots. There are 4 types of things that you can actually plant in this game. You can plant vegetables, hearty vegetables, seasonings, and flowers. Flowers you won't come across until mid-game, and they are mainly used for trading purposes. Seasonings are things like basil and thyme, and they are used for cooking to change the flavour of other ingredients, which we'll get to later. And then you have vegetables and hearty vegetables. Now, these are the main things that you want to be concentrating on planting. Vegetables are affected by seasons, so spring, summer, autumn, and winter, but they don't die when you change the seasons. They just slow down their growth rate when the season changes. And to get a better quality vegetable, it needs to be planted next to other vegetables that it likes. So for example, a tomato likes to be planted next to basil and cucumber, but it doesn't like being planted next to maize or corn. And to see this, as you are planting the vegetables, you will see kind of like a yellow smiley face as you are moving the vegetable around. This indicates that it really likes being planted next to the other vegetables that are around it. If it is showing a sad blue face, this means that it does not like that vegetable and you shouldn't be planting it near those other vegetables. The more happy faces that vegetable is near, the higher the chance of it being a good quality vegetable. The highest quality vegetable you can get is a 3-star vegetable, and you need to make sure that you water them every single day. You don't need to water them when it rains, obviously, and it doesn't matter if you miss a day. It just means that they won't grow on the day that you missed watering them. Once you've harvested what you've created, it then goes into your encyclopedia so you can see all the information about it, what the flavor profile is, when it likes to be planted, how long it takes to be harvested, and what it likes and dislikes. You do have to discover those things as it's being planted though, so it won't always be shown unless you've discovered them all. They usually take about 2 to 3 days to be harvested, and you get about 2 harvests from them until you have to go buy some more seeds and replant. Flowers are different though, and as you harvest the flowers, you then get seeds back. Exploration is another big one in Tales of the Shire. You will be doing a lot of it throughout this game for foraging, for fishing, for questing, and there are memories that you will come across along the way as well. These memories are the blue, sparkly, star-like places that sometimes will appear throughout the village page and you click on them and a cutscene will appear. Sometimes it is just you by yourself and it is an interactive experience where you choose the dialogue, and sometimes it is with other villagers regarding a previous storyline or an entirely new storyline, and it just brings a little more life into the game. There are also sections that you can't get to yet on the map, and you will only get to these sections if you progress your friendship with the specific villagers. And I want to talk about that later when we talk about shared meals. But for example, this dock by Neffy's shop, you can only get to that dock when you are level 3 with Neffy, and they open up the dock for you after a specific cutscene. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to get to that dock. I was running backwards and forwards for like an hour and I could not figure it out until I got to that cutscene, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. If there is something blocked off by a gate, just ignore it for now, it will open up. So next we'll get into shared meals. And this is quite a big category because you could go into the meals, the cooking, and the friendship all at once. So we'll start off with the meals, then go into the friendship, then go into the cooking. So with shared meals, there are 6 different locations that you can have shared meals with, each ranging from 2 guests to 4 guests, not including yourself. And you start off with your home location, and the rest you discover through friendships or those blue sparkly memories I spoke about earlier. You can also discover them through clubs, which we'll talk about, and there is lots of ways to discover them which are not linked to the main quest at all. So for example, you will only get Delphinium's rooftop if you get level 3 friendship with her, and you gain a friendship by sharing meals. So to share a meal, you go to your writing desk, which is in your Hobbit hole, and you invite whichever Hobbit or villager you would like to attend your meal and invite them via letter. You can only hold 1 meal per day, and the day you invite them, the meal will be held the next day. So you could hold a meal and invite villagers for the next day in the same day. So you could theoretically have a meal every single day if you timed it correctly, but it is a lot of work. You have to cook a meal for every single villager, and the villagers will let you know if you did a good job or not by the facial expressions they pull while eating. I really like the way they've done this system, because when you hold a shared meal, it goes into the decoration mode and you can actually decorate the tables with decoration and place the meals wherever you would like, and it is so much fun to do this. The day of the shared meal, the villager will send you a letter telling you what flavor they are craving, and there is 5 flavors. There is spicy, sour, bitter, sweet, and salty. And so the villager will tell you what they are craving in the letter they send you. You can also go to the townsfolk tab the day of the shared meal, and it will tell you what they are craving or other meals that they crave that which would be nice for you to do. You can cook meals beforehand, but sometimes it's easier to cook them the day of so you know which flavors to aim for. And the same with planting. If the villager likes the food you are placing down on the table, there will be a nice yellow smiley face. If they don't like the dish you are putting down, there will be a blue sad face. And if they don't mind it, there will be no expression at all. Now, the idea of shared meals is to try and hit what the villagers are craving as you are sharing these meals, because afterwards you will gain friendship levels with them and they will give you gifts. Now, depending on how much you hit their craving, they will give you basic gifts or they will give you special gifts. And the more delicious a meal was, the more special gifts you will get. Each villager has a different amount of basic gifts and special gifts, and these will usually come in the post the next day. So once you've finished the shared meal, their friendship bar will start to go up, and this is how you get your special gifts and how you get friendship milestone rewards as well. The maximum friendship level is level 10, and each villager has different sets of milestones, and you want to try and hit all of the milestones with all of the villagers because they are kind of all important. They give you lots of special things which you don't realize until you actually read the townsfolk descriptions of all of the villagers. So, for example, when you get 3 stars with Farmer Cotton, he unlocks chickens for you, so you can actually take care of chickens and gain eggs. When you get 3 stars with Willow Tut, she upgrades your house and you get 4 extra rooms to decorate. When you unlock level 3 with Rosie Cotton, you unlock trading for different preserves. When you unlock level 3 with Young Tom Cotton, you get a shop upgrade, and there is so much more that you get with these villagers. So doing these shared meals and upgrading your friendship with these villagers is really important, and the game doesn't really tell you how important it is. So I wish I would have known this sooner. So the next big one to follow this is cooking, and this takes your gardening, your foraging, and you can also buy ingredients to make different recipes for your shared meals. Now, the cooking on first look looks very complicated until you break it down into easier steps. So first off, you need to know what the villager you are cooking for is craving at that time. So do they want spicy, sweet, bitter, sour, salty? And do they want a specific dish? So do they want fish cakes, or rhubarb porridge, or fish pie? Look at that first to figure out what they want and what ingredients you need. Next, select it and go from there about what ingredients you have to gain the right flavors. Each ingredient has a color around the object to tell you what it is. So green is sour, purple is sweet, grey is bitter, orangey red colour is spicy, and blue is salty. So if you want a specific meal to be all sweet, try and pick ingredients that are all purple. You can also add seasoning as you get further on into the game, and the seasonings can change the flavours of these ingredients. For example, thyme can change something into bitter, or salt can change something into salty. If you have ingredients that are all different, it will take the most powerful ingredient and turn it into that flavor. It will tell you under the name of the recipe what the flavor will be, which is very, very handy. But if you are actually cooking this for a shared meal for a specific villager, and say they want rhubarb porridge, but they want it bitter, and you can only do rhubarb porridge that is sweet, that is okay, because they are craving the rhubarb porridge. That is absolutely fine. They will still love it and enjoy it, so it doesn't matter too much. Don't start stressing about it. Now, as you're cooking, you will only start off with a chopping board and a frying pan, and when you prepare ingredients, you will see on the right hand side that there is a indicator of where your dish is and where your dish should be in terms of smooth, chunky, crisp, or tender. The chopping board, you can decrease or increase it to be chunky or smooth. The frying pan will only make something more tender, which confused me for the longest time. So if you want something more on the crispier side, don't put it in the frying pan, just put it in the assemble bowl. And the idea of the cooking is to try and get the plate of food as close to that yellow star as possible. Sometimes it's not possible until you get more of the cooking stations, and these you unlock through the clubs. And if you have got it spot on where you want it and you still have ingredients to chop, make sure you put the ingredient in the middle of chunky and smooth, and that way it will stay exactly where it is, and just assemble it in the bowl. After you've made your dish, it will sometimes give you some bonuses if you have created it in a good way. You will get a texture bonus if you hit that star in the bottom right corner. You will get flavor bonuses if you are creating a dish with 2 flavors. So if you can't get the meal into the star on the right hand side, don't panic, because you unlock different stations as you are going through the cooking club. What you can unlock is a mixing bowl, which makes the ingredients crispier. You unlock a pickling jar, which again can make the ingredients crisper. You can also unlock a pestle and mortar, which makes the ingredients smoother. So don't worry too much if you can't always hit that star. Oh, another note I should point out is if you are holding a shared meal in your house, you can put all your meals into your pantry and that is fine. If you're holding a shared meal outside of your home, you need to make sure all of your meals are in your backpack. Otherwise, once you get there, you will have no meals and you'll have to cancel the event and have to go get your meals and then come straight back, and it is very annoying. So I think that's all on the cooking. If you have any more cooking questions, let me know in the comments. But I think the next one we should talk about is the clubs. So once you finish Act 1 of the main storyline, the village wants to create clubs for various activities. So cooking club, fishing club, foraging club, and gardening club. And these are actually really good to get high enough levels in. Level 5 is the highest that you can progress in. And honestly, I wish they would have brought these in sooner in the gameplay loop, because you get so much when you progress in your levels. It is actually insane. So every time you complete a mission, you get ingredients for completing it. And then when you complete a level, you also get milestone rewards. So to find the club missions, they are located at the Ivory Bush Inn, and you can complete 10 missions at any one time. And they can all be a mixture of whatever you fancy. And I think there's 6 in total for any one club. So pick ones that you really are interested in doing and that you think you'll be able to complete. When you first join the club, the first 3 that you complete will mean that you advance to level 2. So the easiest thing to do is get 3 of each club and complete them, and then you're level 2 in each club. So in the cooking club, Lily Cotton runs this, and once you get to level 2, you unlock a new cooking station with her, which is the mixing bowl. And then every level of the cooking club, you then unlock another cooking station until level 5, where you get a club decoration item. The fishing club is run by Old Nooks, and in that, when you get to level 2, you get a fishing rod upgrade, which means you can fish for different fish or better fish, and then you get upgrades all the way to level 5, and you get a club decoration item for that as well. The foraging club is ran by Delphi, and at level 2 you get a lantern, which is very cute. It means you get to see in the dark. But at level 3 onwards, you get backpack upgrades, which means you get 5 more slots in your backpack. And at level 5, you get a club decoration item. And then the gardening club is run by Rosie Cotton, and you get garden space unlocks at level 2 all the way to level 5. And this means that your garden is unlocked and you get different entrances and exits from your garden, which is very handy if you are exploring different areas of the village. So each one of these clubs have different merits and very good milestones for you to progress in. You will find the club missions and the club progressions in your book next to the encyclopedia or the townsfolk or your tales log of your quest log. It'll appear in 2 different tabs there, and you also get experience for each of the clubs if you're doing that activity as well. So if you are just generally gardening, you will gain experience, or if you're just generally foraging, you get experience as well. Not as much as if you're doing a specific mission and handing that mission in, but all of it helps. So those are my 10 tips, but I wanted to give you a few little other tips as well, just in case. So to make money in this game, I like to fish because this is the easiest way, but you can also forage as well. I find 2 days worth of foraging gives me all the money I need for like planter beds or for extra ingredients for cooking. So for like cream, milk, flour, things like that. And the forage ingredients have a really good spawn rate. They come back the next day or it takes 2 days, so they are really good at spawning. And the fish have an okay sale price, so about 40 coin they sell for. If you are foraging and just wandering around, if you look out for the butterflies, they will actually guide you to a specific foraging location. There are different coloured butterflies as well, so there is white, blue and yellow butterflies. Now, I found that the yellow butterflies generally guide you to the seasoning forageables like hedge mustard or pepperwort. The white butterflies generally guide you to vegetables or mushrooms, so like puffballs or penny buns. And the blue butterflies generally guide you to any fruits, so like grapes or apples or plums, raspberries, strawberries, things like that. And there is a camera mode if you need it. On the PC, you press P to get to photo mode. I'm not sure about Nintendo Switch, sorry, but the photo mode is quite good, and they have so many emotes. I don't know in what world that they thought they needed like over 30 emotes, but there are so many for you to choose from and look through. It's also an achievement to go through all of them, so try it out. And those are the 10 things I wish I knew when I started Tales of the Shire. So hopefully they help you settle into your own little Hobbit life a little bit more smoothly. And if you've discovered any other helpful tips, please share them in the comments down below so we can help each other out. And if you are enjoying the game so far or are not sure about it, let me know in the comments down below. And if you love seeing other cozy game releases, other how-tos, I have so much more cozy content, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!